The Disney news is on its way.
This monorail will be departing momentarily. Thank you.
We shine the light inside the park. Lights and laughter every ride.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas.
Past the news so clear. The Monorail Report is here. Jump aboard and feel the cheer. The Monorail Report is here.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your safety, please remain behind the yellow line on the platform or behind the gates once you disembark the monorail.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Monorail Report in the beautiful LWTV newsroom. I'm your host, Lawrence. Thanks for joining me this morning. Appreciate you all being here. Got some decent news to talk about. We'll talk about the updates at Hollywood Studios, which kind of came out of nowhere, honestly. And it's something that I mentioned yesterday to John with Fun to Be Free. Just felt like we're getting the identity of the park back to some degree. So definitely excited to see that come to fruition. Let's see, we will also talk, we had some Halloween merch drop today, like literally an hour ago. So we'll talk about that. And we'll give you some updates on the Disney Streamer Network. Have a couple new channels to talk about. We'll talk about some fun stuff from over the weekend. And I have a new segment called What's the Actual News, where we're going to dig into the story behind the headline. I use quotes because, well, you'll see. So good morning to everybody popping in. Let me pull up the chat so I can see you all here. All right. Give me 1 second. We'll get that loaded. So who do we have? We have Phil Magical Mel. Good morning. Aaron Fletcher. Hello. Alicia S. Good to see you. Michael Daniel Ferguson. Amanda P. Alicia says her husband loves the picture behind me. Which one? I have several. Let me know which one and I'll let you know where I got it. Hold on 1 second. I've got screens moving on me here. Let's show all windows. I don't know why it's very weird. I wish I could show you all what just happened. My window that I'm supposed to be looking at here, which tells me what I can see on screen, just decided it wanted to go way over there. All right, so I'm going to pull up a backup screen and we'll be good to go. We're just going to see what happens. Okay. So let's get to the news. So I follow obviously Disney parks on social media because I need to know what's happening so that I can report on it. And all of a sudden they dropped the story on us that we're getting the magic of Disney animation coming to the animation courtyard yesterday. And we are losing Launch Bay. We're losing the archway, which I know is, I'll say iconic. You know, it's part of the original park. But knowing, you know, if you think about that frame there and what's behind it, it really cuts off animation courtyard as it is right now. So losing that, I think, is going to be fine. I think it's going to open up that whole area, make it more welcoming, more inviting. So I think we will be in good shape there. Page C, hello. Oh, Alicia says all of them. The two big posters, the Encanto and the Star Wars, came from my brother. Phil Magical Mel says, I love your shirt. No, Catherine did not make this one. This is from the 50th at Disney World. So this is going to really open it up. So we will lose Disney Junior temporarily. The Play and Dance, that'll be closed temporarily September 25th. Launch Bay will close permanently September 25th. And Little Mermaid will be unaffected. So I think you're just going to enter, there'll be scrim walls there where you enter that theater to close off Animation Courtyard. This is going to open next year, and this is what I was excited about. Like, we're not having to wait a long time for this. Like, it's happening next year. So very excited about that for sure. Good morning, Christopher Solis. Good to see you. Let me pull up some other pictures of it. You know, my question is, what are they going to do with Darth Vader? What are they going to do with the models? I'm sure they'll just store them somewhere. I can clean off those shelves if they need room to store them. No problem. I'll help them out. So this will open up that whole area right there. As you can see, the arch is, you know, the launch bay is framed by the arch. It feels very disconnected. So this new area will feel very open, and it will be very reminiscent of the actual animation studio in California, which is obviously what they're going for. Complete with the sorcerer's hat on top of the building, which is going to be great. You know, the hat that we had before was very polarizing. You know, some loved it, some hated it. And now you will have a sorcerer's hat that does not block anything else. And it will look very much like the building that is out in California now. So that's very good. Alicia says she's going to miss the arch. Good morning, Doug. Good to see you. She says she's going to miss the arch. I think people will miss it. I don't like the current one as much as the old one. I think the old style felt a little bit more like what it was supposed to be. This one doesn't really feel that way to me. And then that's the poster for the new attraction, which is going to have it's based on the Once Upon a Studio short. So if you want clues about what this new attraction is going to be, I would go back and watch that short, because that'll give you a lot of clues as to what it's going to end up being. Essentially, the studio, the building comes to life after the animators have left. And so you're going to have a lot of that playfulness there. So it's going to be exciting. There's also going to be a chance for kids and kids at heart to learn how to sketch. So probably very similar to what happens in the animation attraction over at Rafiki's Planet. Did I miss Lily? Lily, hey, how are you? Good to see you. So I'm very excited about this. I think that's going to be very cool. So that's happening over in Hollywood Studios next year. And we know that we already have some activity over in Hollywood Studios, right? We've had the walls up around Muppets Courtyard for a while. Here's a quick video that I took when I was at Hollywood on Monday. So it just stuck out to me because I don't know that I've seen that kind of work being done in a park in broad daylight. Like that was, I don't know, 1:00 in the afternoon, and they were just going to town. I actually talked to the two cast members that were at the snack booth right outside. I was like, oh, that must be fun to listen to all day long. But they, and of course they were like, oh yeah, it's fun. They're going to town over there. And I think that's a really good sign that they don't want to wait 3, 4, 5, 6 years to have this done. They're moving pretty quickly. So I have a little hope that we're not going to have to wait as long as we, think to get this new thing. Now, I will tell you from what I know of construction, being that that's what I've dealt with for the last 8 years, is it is a lot easier when it is raw land to build than to have to tear something down, go in, redo the infrastructure, redo the footings, redo the foundation, and then build something. So the coaster, while they have to tear up the parking lot, you're not doing a lot of tear down there. So maybe you have a little bit more speed there than you do in the rest of it. But again, the front of Monsters is really just a reskin, so we might get lucky there. Dianca, good morning. Paige says she was a bit shocked by them working during the day, at least with the noise level. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was loud over there. Now, Villains Land, I think that will, that's just raw land. So I think we're going to be pretty surprised with that. And it may be that is done before Cars, because you have a lot of demo and infrastructure, and you've got to move all that water that's sitting where Cars Land is going to go. So we may get Villains before Cars. We'll find out. I do wonder if we're going to get more of a timeline come D23 this year, or the D23 event that's happening this year. Maybe we'll get more of a timeline then. We'll see. All right, so this news dropped today. So we have Halloween merch coming out very soon. And it looks pretty good. So these are stuffies that are plushies, as they call them, but we call them stuffies in our house, that are exclusive to DisneyStore.com. So you have Mickey, Minnie, and Stitch dressed up and ready to go for Halloween. And these will be available on DisneyStore.com only. This one, this Mickey Mouse plush will be available in the parks only. And so he's dressed up. He's got a nice color. I kind of like the colors, the gray and the orange. I think they go pretty well. Obviously, that's the theme, as you'll see. That's the color theme for this year. Here you have the Mickey Mouse Pumpkin Squishmallows plush. Looks like that might be both in the stores or on Disney Store and in the parks. Dianca says she's just saw this and is very excited. She's getting her coins together now. So I know as soon as Corey sees this in the stores, he's going to be checking that out because it is a button down for Halloween. I have 2 Halloween button downs already, so I don't know if I'll get a third because we only do so many shows, but Halloween shows. But you do have a pullover as well, and then that button down pumpkin shirt. And they seem to be continuing their sports jersey lineup. They've had quite a bit of them. If you remember the princess lineup that they had as well. And there's quite a few Mickey Mouse ones. Well, now you have one for the fall as well, which also tells me then we're probably going to see one for Christmas too. So you do have the sports jersey. This is obviously, as I said, the gray and the orange. And then Mickey Mouse 28, obviously, that's Mickey Mouse's number for the year that he was created on the back there. And for those that like to be matchy-matchy, you've got the family pajama sets. So from curling up on crisp fall nights to snapping the cutest pumpkin patch pictures, the Mickey Mouse and Friends Halloween Pajama Pals sets will be a Halloween favorite. This classic Mickey and Friends crew teams up to join in on the frightful festivities in these petrifyingly cozy pajama sets. Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, Pluto can be found in their Halloween best, making it a charming choice for your family. So you can find those available as well. Then you also have this light up pumpkin treat bucket. So pretty cool. Can't tell the size. I feel like it's a little small. Finley would fill that thing up probably 5 times going around our neighborhood. But it does light up. So does a Mickey Mouse Halloween pumpkin light up treat bucket. You also have a candy bowl. This one looks to be glass or ceramic. Yeah. Festive ceramic piece is cute enough to keep around all season for your pumpkin packed festivities. So that's pretty cool. And then they also have the tote bag. So you have a Donald Duck Halloween glow in the dark big face tote bag. That thing is pretty big. Then you also have the Mickey Mouse pumpkin crossbody bag by Lug. So that's a Lug. So yeah, some pretty cool Halloween merch lineup coming out. And this is just really the beginning. So we know that there will be plenty more. We know that they'll have the party merch as well. So stay tuned for all that. As soon as that is released, we will talk about it here for sure. All right, so let's jump over to updates for the Disney Streamer Network. let's look at our channel lineup a little bit. These are some of the folks that have been with us for a while. The Disney Baker, Score Jason, Park Pass TV, myself, All Aboard with Blake, Scooter Adventures, Resort TV 1, Lily's Life. We've just got a great lineup here. You've got a couple out in Disneyland as well. You have Pete McDevitt Show. You have Mystic Parks, Magical Horizons, Disney Magic and Mayhem, Barry Place 28. He's in Disneyland. Christy PH Disney, she's in Disneyland as well. Resort TV 1 you see there. And then here's some of our newer channels. So we have the 927, which Ken is in our chat this morning. So they've started up a new channel, him and Cakes. Last week, or I guess it was this week, they did something very different. They went out and did an on-location parade coverage. So Ken went out, covered the parade from Magic Kingdom, and they had Cakes in his studio talking to everybody in chat and talking about the parade as it was happening. Very, very cool. And then, of course, they went on Cake's favorite ride, Small World, after that, and Cakes absolutely loved it. Wanted to go again and again and again and experience it all night long, but Ken said, no, we can't do that. I've got to go home. Cakes was very upset that he could not experience Small World again and again. We added last night, we added Heist Piano. Many of you know Heist. He performs on Sundays, does a great job. I have had him on the podcast as well. Talked to him yesterday about the network and what it was, and he joined right away. So you'll be able to see him on Sundays on the multi-stream. We also added Theme Park Casual, another California creator. And we added Grand and Miraculous, which does great in-depth shows about different attractions and stuff like that. So very excited. Very excited about all that. We also added Disney Magic Zach, who does podcast, and Lorcana, if you know that game. So he does some of that as well. So plenty of creators in our network, and it just continues to grow and grow. Let me see if I can pull up the multi-view. We can kind of see who's on right now. No, it's not going to pull correctly, so I'll skip that. So we have, over the weekend, I went to Disney, obviously, to cover the parade. Thought I was covering the Sunday parade, ended up covering the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday parade, which was absolutely phenomenal to be able to get to see that parade 5 times in a span of 3 days. Paige says, I just love that you guys give my brother so much grief. Gotta have a little fun. Gotta have a little fun. So, speaking of fun, a bunch of us were out there Saturday, and we were there late. We were just so hyped about the parade and everything. I don't think any of us wanted to go home. And so this happened. the finish line first. So that was a lot of fun, and it wasn't even like planned. If I remember, Ken can correct me, but I think they had all just kind of lined up there just to talk, and it looked like they were at the starting line, and so they went off and did that, and it was funny because it was quiet. Obviously, it was late. PhotoPass cast members were still standing there taking pictures, and so there was one that snapped a bunch of pictures of the whole race. So that was just a lot of fun. Glad to see so many in our community. In that picture at the end, there were 8 channels represented in one picture. It just shows the power of our network and why we're doing it, just to collaborate and start to feel like a community where you can, see somebody in the park. That happened to me so many times over the weekend. I would see a creator and I could go over and say hello and, all right, let's go jump on a ride together. And, Thad and I talked for 3 hours on Friday afternoon after the stream. So that's the type of stuff that's happening right now. And I think that's for us as creators, I think that is probably the biggest piece of this. So I think it's really, really cool to see that happening. And then it gave me inspiration for what the actual streamer games is going to be. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have some fun this fall with streamer games. All right, so now we're going to do a new segment. And it's called What's the Actual News? Because there's so many times when I'm on social media and there's a story or there's a headline, and we refer to it as clickbait, and it drives me crazy. Catherine says, you don't even talk to me for 3 hours. Call me after the show, we'll talk. No, you'll be training the new person. Hope that's going well. Yeah, Ken says sometimes opportunity just presents themselves. Exactly. Absolutely right. So these clickbait titles just drive me crazy because it lures people into, oh, there's something major happening. Meanwhile, that's not what it was. Like you're making a mountain out of a molehill. So I figure we're gonna try and dig into a couple stories each week. Okay. So an alligator was captured during the fireworks spectacular at Disney World. This is the headline that was put out there. Okay? Now, what do you guys think the actual story was? Because the way this is written sounds like somebody was standing there on Main Street getting ready to watch Happily Ever After with their family. Dad's got the kids up on the shoulder, and an alligator just comes strolling out of the Emporium. But that's not what happened. What happened, I don't know if you guys know this, but Disney World is in Florida. They have alligators in Florida. And there was an alligator captured during the fireworks at Wilderness Lodge. So we actually just went to Wilderness Lodge on our last trip because we went to Whispering Canyon, and then we just walked around. And it's out there. It's near the water, and it's kind of remote. And it could also be a fact of the work going on across the water at the new Lakeside Lodge, causing disturbances in the, water, the land, the alligators looking for someplace else to go. So they end up at Wilderness Lodge. Anyway, so an alligator was captured, yes, on property. But to say during the fireworks makes it sound like it had something to do with the fireworks. It just happened to be during that time, So yeah, that's a stretch. Okay, here's another one. Cinderella returns to Disney World after lengthy absence. I don't remember hearing any stories about people going to Cinderella's royal table and Cinderella being on vacation. So what's that actual story? I don't even know how to dive into this one. This story is actually, hold on, let me pull it up. After a long absence, the beloved Cinderella statue has finally returned. So we're talking about the statue, not the character, okay? Much to the delight of Disney park fans, this iconic figure has been a centerpiece outside of the World of Disney store at Disney Springs, but disappeared earlier this month, as if it was stolen or something. Was it taken down for cleaning or maintenance or something? Could that have been the story? I had a couple people come in. Dame Dystopia popping in for a quick like. Thank you. And a howdy. I have to catch the replay later. Oh, yeah, those stupid work meetings. Not so scary Mary, good to see you. So the statue outside, the Cinderella statue outside of the World of Disney store in Disney Springs vanished. And a few days later, Mr. Potato Head statue was also removed from outside of Once Upon a Toy. And nearby Buzz Lightyear was left standing, just like in the case of Cinderella and Aurora. The disappearances caused some concern among Disney park fans about whether more nostalgia-themed decor would be permanently removed from Disney. But it wasn't permanently removed. They returned. Similar, I'm looking at a picture of the World of Disney store. The sign has been removed and replaced with banners. So people are making a big deal of that. But there are some in the know that are saying that the sign was probably, or not probably, more than likely removed for refurbishment or some sort of maintenance, right? But they had to put a banner there so that people knew where the store was. So again, look for the true story behind it. If you see it on Disney parks, social media, obviously trust them. Disney Parks blog is part of Disney Parks. Trust them. The third party that I trust, obviously, with what I do on the podcast, is Dr. Disney. I trust Dr. Disney because he gives you the actual story. Very, very rarely will he put opinion in. And if he does, it is clearly stated, in my opinion. Right? But he gives you the actual story. Look for the actual story, folks. The shows that I'm involved with are going to give you the actual story, not this craziness. All right, let's do one more. A classic Magic Kingdom corner gets flattened and it's not Frontierland. Okay. So we're talking about a corner in front. Okay, so not Frontierland, so nothing in Frontierland. So where would this be, right? And it gets flattened. Let me pull up that story. By the way, these stories are not just one source. I pulled these from different sources, and there's a few. There's a few that I now follow. And by the way, these folks have like 1 million followers. And when I look at their stories that they post on social, they have no comments, no likes, no anything. So that just tells me that they gained a following somehow, and that following now doesn't trust them because of the stories that they're doing. Okay, so another classic Magic Kingdom corner gets flattened, and it's not Frontierland. So it says, if you've been following the recent changes at Magic Kingdom, it probably won't surprise you that another part of the park just got taken out. So to say that sounds like an entire land has now disappeared. What might surprise you, though, is it wasn't Frontierland this time. Over in Tomorrowland, Disney quietly took a bulldozer to a quirky little corner that has been cooling off guests for decades. Cool Ship. Yeah, the one with the mist and the weird red spaceship on top is no more. What started as a routine closure for refurbishment in May has turned into a full-on demolition project. Construction walls now hide the spot where the kiosk once stood, and what's behind them? Dirt, trenches, and absolutely zero signs that Cool Ship is ever coming back. This wasn't just a repaint. The area has been torn to pieces. Now, anybody that watches live streams, we've known this forever. This story was posted yesterday. This has been going on for a long time. And in fact, another news source that is a good news source, third party, showed yesterday because you can see this from the People Mover. They're not hiding anything. I mean, there's scrim walls around, but People Mover's up high. You can see this. So you can see that there is now they're doing the infrastructure and getting ready to pour the foundation for the new building. But of course, this story makes it sound like it was removed and it was, they even go on to say, let's be real, Cool Ship wasn't a headline attraction, but it mattered. Did it? You could grab a Mickey bar, cool off under a burst of mist, and admire the funky spaceship with the retro future sci-fi. Yeah, okay. But it's not like they quietly took out Space Mountain. So it will probably come back. They're working on it. And you can see that from the People Mover. So again, always look for the real story. And I'll be honest, if you guys have questions, ask me. Reach out to us, because we are going to tell you the real story. We'll dig into it. If you find something and you're like, hey, what's going on there? You guys can certainly reach out to me. You can reach out at DisneyStreamerNetwork@gmail.com. You can find us on all of our socials, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, TikTok. Obviously, I host the live streams for Corey, and we do the podcast. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, contact me, and I will help clear that up, because I do not like these misleading clickbait titles. If that's your only way to get views and likes and interaction, then there's an issue. There's an issue there. So Keith says, glad you're doing this, Lawrence. These headlines are just a bit misleading. Yeah. And listen, I picked some easy ones that I just saw, but you guys can ask Corey. I sent him some that I'm like, what? How do you? Okay, I got to share this one. Let me find it. Because I sent it to him and I couldn't believe that this was a story. Okay, you ready? Disney legend dies on stage in front of theme park guest. Okay. So you tell me what that story was. Disney legend dies on stage in front of theme park guests. It just doesn't make sense to me. How do you post that and feel good about that? Not only that, but the picture that they use is Bob Iger. So you have Bob Iger's picture with Disney legend dies on stage in front of theme park guests underneath it. Come on, folks. Do better. I'm sorry, just do better. That's not journalism. The real story is that the new Walt Disney animatronic malfunctioned. And that's out there. That video's out there. It starts to just jitter, and so they just close the curtain. That's what that story was about. So if that was the story, why post a picture of Bob Iger, first of all? Why say Disney legend? And why say dies on stage in front of theme park guests? Now, this one actually did have several, when I took this picture, and yeah, Thad's right, I sent it to him too, had 6 comments, 1 share, and 13 reactions. And this is probably their most their story that was most interacted with. So, you know, if you're not going to be truthful, just get out of the business. I'm sorry. Just get out of the business. There's enough story out there to cover that you don't have to make this stuff up. So, yeah, we're going to have a little fun with that each week because it just drives me crazy. So I'll leave it open for a couple questions for the next few minutes before we wrap up here. I will also say that tonight, where's my slide here? Tonight, I will be appearing on Amusement Park Pirates podcast. They asked me to be a special guest. We're going to be talking about a couple different things. Obviously, they've got you can see the picture of the Hollywood Studios update. So we'll be talking about Disneyland, Disney World, and Disney. So they asked me to be on. So that is 11 o'clock Eastern because they are in California. They're one of our California channels in the Disney Streamer Network. So I'll be appearing with them tonight at 11. We'll have some fun. I've never been on their show before, so we'll see what that's about. And while we're wrapping up, I'm going to bring up the schedule for today and see who else is live. I think today's a little bit lighter. Thursdays tend to be a little bit lighter in the Disney Streamer Network. It's really Thursdays and Mondays, I think, are our lightest days. Excuse me. So in just a few minutes, Josh is going to be premiering his Disneyland Travel Day, Monorail Ride, and 70th Anniversary Fun. So he's got a vlog from his travel day. Pete is covering the Baltimore Orioles versus the Guardians. And if I heard correctly, this is the to decide it all. Is that right? Doug, if you're here. So I think Pete's gonna get a pie in the face if they get swept or something. John is going to be going live at 2:00 from Magic Kingdom, and he's going to be talking about his news of the day. It's going to be the Disney Annual Pass benefit new offer. So I'm not going to mention that. I mentioned that last night on the podcast. If you want to know more, make sure to check out John at 2:00. Score Jason's going to be doing Summer Nights at Hollywood Studios at 6:00. Cruising Theme Park Guide, she's going live from Magic Kingdom for rides, fireworks, and Disney Starlight Parade. Be careful out there, Sierra. Hopefully it's not as bad as it was for you and Corey Saturday. I had to play blocker for them. Park Pass TV is doing Monorail Resort hopping, and then I guess they're going to hop over to Magic for Disney Starlight Parade in 4K. Check them out. 7:00. Also at 7:00, you've got the 927 with Cakes and Kenny J. They're going to be talking about the Starlight Parade and other items. Barry Place 28 is going to go live at 8:30 from Disneyland, and it looks like it is his birthday. So make sure to check him out. Wish him a happy birthday. Make sure to give him a like. Disney Insomniacs Hangout is going to be at 9:00. And that's it for the night. So make sure to check out all our friends. Make sure to watch on the Multiview, dsn.disneystreams.com, so that you can watch all of our friends all at one time. It's Pie Day for Pete, Keith says. Yeah. Yeah, I don't normally watch the Orioles. I might be tuning into that game just to see. So we'll see. Mom says hello. Alicia says she never falls for that. Good for you. Just not. It's not worth it. I just don't get it. There's so many stories out there you can cover. Why make it up? Just don't get it. All right, folks, that's going to do it here for me this week for the Monorail Report. Lots of content out there today and this weekend. So make sure to check that out. And if you can, stay up tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Amusement Park Pirates. I'll be hanging out with them talking about Disney updates. Thank you all for being here. And as Alicia said, don't fall for those crazy stories. There's way better ways to tell a story than that. Okay, I just have to find the show clothes. I've moved it somewhere. For the most part, I had everything good to go today. Okay, I found it. Mom says she'll be up. Alicia says she loves the multi-view. I'm telling you, it's a great way to do it. And there's more updates coming to that as well. David Pyle, who is Pyle Adventures, he put that all together, and there's new stuff coming all the time. So be sure to check that out. Paige, thank you. She says, thank you, Lawrence. Great information. I appreciate that. Just try and bring you some actual news and have some fun along the way. All right, folks, have a great day. We will see you next time